What is going on, everybody? Here we are, movie number 43, Dark Windows from 2023. This is a movie that I've wanted to see for a while, watched the trailers, but I didn't want to pay for it, and I waited, and now I did see it was free to stream. Again, it was either Amazon or Tubi. I think it was Amazon in this case. It is a movie that, by theory, the concept shouldn't exist because it is a slow burn cabin in the woods slasher. We'll call it that. And it's a good cabin in the woods. You want a bunch of deaths here and there. In this case, you only had 3 deaths, not counting the event that happened before the movie. And one of the deaths was actually a friend who was killed by one of the friends by accident, not done by the killer. So the premise is there's a funeral. There's a girl who, I don't want to be here. I'm scared to be here. It's obvious, there was some sort of, she did something to lead to this girl's death, or she was at least somehow involved. And in that case, okay, cool. I mean, they did plant the seeds. Eventually, the girl's uncle, they came up to at the funeral, and that's gonna be important because the uncle came up to the funeral, but the person at the end said my daughter, so I forget if it's the same person or not. I didn't again, but came up to a funeral and said, you should be you, and then friends came up. No, a bunch of us were in the car. It's like, yeah, but it should have been her because she was the one who they thought was driving. In reality, though, it wasn't her who was driving. It was her drunk boyfriend who was driving. But what she did do is she did hit the unbuckle the seatbelt thing because they're messing with the girl. The girl didn't want to be in a car where someone was driving drunk and all that. And then all of a sudden, they're teasing her, but there's an accident. She gets killed. Seatbelt's undone. That's where the guilt comes in. But then that's also strange, too, because the reason the killer becomes the killer is because he has a tape of what went on in the car. And the storyline is, she called me. And then eventually, but it had everything from the second she called. And so, eventually you're cut off. You can't just leave a message ad nauseum. So I don't know if they would have had as much as she had, because they were tracking it for a bit. But, so she decided, the killer decided, again, I mentioned my ring light last video, folks, sorry. The killer decided to get revenge, and how dare they, you took my daughter. The killer's the father. Or at least says it's a daughter. So I don't think it's the uncle, because I don't think the uncle knew who was really driving. The other one did. It's a whole mess. But that was confusing. Maybe it's just confusing to me. But they did build atmosphere well. Not as good as, say, Hush, movies like Hush did, but they did a solid job of it. And then there was the thing where there was a shrine to the girl who passed away, and no one communicated with each other. They did that. The other one did it. So they just all assumed the other one did it, where in reality it was this person who did it, which means if they just talked a little bit, they would know right away. Someone setting up shrines in the house. Maybe we should all ask. So that was and then finally, once the killer starts doing the menacing, he's took the battery out of the car, he's teasing him, he has the battery on the front table, etc. They're doing everything they can to be free and get it, but essentially he captures them all. And I will say the death of the boyfriend is one of the cooler deaths I've seen in a movie. He had plastic wrapped around the neck, and I just thought it was going to be like something from Lucky Number 7, where they would have him suffocate with the plastic, but it was so much better than that. Because he pulled up the plastic up Tahoe, like a big bowl, you see where I'm going, and it had taped on the neck, and he filled it with vodka and drowned the person, because they were also taped down, they couldn't free themselves at all. I'd like to think that they could just tip the chair, whatever, that's whatever. I guess you don't really think about that. Maybe it taped too much to do it. So that was a really cool kill. And then he's working on the second girl, who was the one who apparently was the one who unbuckled the seatbelt. So then he breaks her hands, and then the other girl screams, yes, she did it. She started with the seatbelt, but I was the one who unbuckled it the last time. And he's like, thanks for telling me. And then he cracks that girl's neck, the one whose hands he broke, who apparently wasn't the one responsible for it, was responsible for, but he still killed her. So then you're going to expect he's really going to torment the next one, really get it good. And he lets her go. and then he surrenders to the cops. And it's like, now you have to live with it. She was living with it anyway, so all you did, what, you had a couple extra dead bodies for friends into the mix to live with it with? Like, wait a second, what? You know, your big revenge, the person that, you know, her and her boyfriend, you know, more culpable than the girl who was teasing her, yet somehow that girl got to live. I don't get. This is me trying to process that. Like, you don't torment them and let them live because she was only peripherally responsible. You know, like the person responsible the most was the boyfriend, so he died fine. The one who was probably least too was the other girl, and he cracked her neck and broke her arms. Yet, I see the vibe they're going for. I get it, but I think the problem is they were doing slow burn so much they want to latch it up with something, and then they want to go back to where they were, and it just caught them in between. Of the 3 movies that I filmed, you know, all these were filmed today, even though this is airing on Tuesday. I did 3 of these on Sunday. This is my favorite of 3 I saw. But, again, that comes by comparison. And I will give this a worthwhile watch. I'll give this a 5.25 out of 10. So I recommend checking out if you can. You know, I did spoil it for you, so I will put spoilers in the post. You know, so if you're watching this after you saw it, do you agree with me? If even after seeing it spoiled, I still recommend checking out for that fishhook kill. That fishbowl type kill was pretty cool. But anyway, folks, as always, thanks for checking out my video. We're up to 43. This is coming out Tuesday. We'll see. I'd love to be able to get at least 45 out, up to 45 this week. I don't know. We'll see. Put suggestions in the comment. Thanks, everybody. Peace.